what we are doing at Jamnagar is we are now ready for big scale up.
Ladies and gentlemen, on 24th of January 2025, Mukesh Ambani made a grand announcement to turn Jamnagar into a world-class data center hub.
Mukesh Ambani is all set to build the world's largest data center.
We plan to establish gigawatt-scale AI-ready data centers in Jamnagar.
It is our goal in the new information and technology age to make Jamnagar a leader of the world.
And to me, this is just the starting.
Similarly, Gautam Adani is about to spend $10 billion into building data centers across Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat and Tamil Nadu. And while most people think this is India embracing the AI revolution, what we fail to understand is that these data centers could also cause a massive water crisis in India.
Data's thirst for water is unquenchable.
Many of these water-stressed cities are also emerging as new destinations for fast-growing AI data center industry in India.
5 years down the line, people in this very region will not have drinking water.
Projections show that 40% of its cities might run out of drinking water by 2030. It is hard to imagine what the future impact of a water-intensive industry is likely to be.
Think about it. In the United States, an average 100 megawatt data center consumes about 20 lakh liters of water per day, and we intend to build data centers that will consume 30 times this capacity. Now, if you look at this map, data centers are being planned in Navi Mumbai, Bengaluru, Delhi NCR, Chennai, Hyderabad and Kolkata. And the irony is that all these cities are already facing a massive water shortage. Navi Mumbai is already short of 80 million liters per day, Delhi NCR is short of 1,100 million liters per day, Chennai is falling short of 713 million liters per day, and Hyderabad is already short of 300 million liters per day. In fact, while we aim to build water-guzzling data centers all across the country, 163 million Indians still don't have access to clean water, and our groundwater condition is worsening with each passing day. So data centers pose a big threat to the water security of millions of Indians. And the scary fact is that in the US, data centers have already started causing a crisis.
That water supply is becoming more strained.
Zoom out and you can see the entire southwest is drying up. And then, if we overlay the map, you can see the mega thirsty data centers moving in.
I think we're really at a critical moment right now. It's kind of a turning point. We're on the cusp of beginning to see this.
This is critical water pressure in the kitchen.
There's not enough available water for the residents that are already there.
That's because AI data centers require a lot of water.
So the question is, why does India need so many data centers? What exactly is happening in the AI revolution that has caused this sudden surge in data centers? What can we learn from America's disaster? And most importantly, what should India do to prevent a nightmare for its citizens? Before we move on, I would like to thank Outskill for supporting our content. People, I want you to be ahead in the AI curve. That is why I am inviting you to an exclusive 2-day live AI training program, which is happening this weekend, Saturday and Sunday from 10 AM to 7 PM IST. Normally, this program is priced at 10,000 rupees, but you can attend this at no cost, all thanks to Outskill. Outskill is one of the rare AI-focused education platform, which is backed by some of the most influential AI founders and investors. And across these 16 hours of live interactive training, you will gain the skills to build your personal AI toolkit with 10 plus tools already transforming industries. You will learn to master prompt engineering so you can harness AI precisely. You will learn to automate repetitive tasks and analyze data without writing a single line of code. And you will be able to create professional presentations using images and videos in minutes. Eventually, you will also learn to develop AI agents and tools that give you a competitive edge in this hyper-competitive world. Over 1 lakh professionals from 40 plus countries have already attended this training because they understand that in the age of AI, staying unprepared isn't just a disadvantage, it is a risk. Whether you work in tech, policy, business or any field, this program is built for you. But remember, the seats are limited and they are filling up rapidly. So if you want to future-proof your career and understand how AI is shaping the world, this is your chance to take action. So click the link in the description, secure your spot and join the WhatsApp group to receive all updates. Firstly, let's understand how does a data center work. When you're watching an IPL match on Jio Hotstar, here's what happens in a few milliseconds. When you hit play, your phone sends a request through the internet to Jio Hotstar's data center. This facility houses thousands of servers running 24/7 in a climate-controlled environment. And when the request hits a load balancer, it gets directed to an available server. This server verifies your subscription, locates the video file, checks your internet speed to select video quality, and breaks the video into data packets. And these packets then travel back through high-speed fiber cables to your phone, which then reassembles them into a smooth video. And all of this happens in less than 1 second. So every WhatsApp message, every UPI payment, Instagram post, or even Google search follows the same journey. So data centers are essentially massive computer warehouses that store, process, and deliver our digital content instantly. Now look at this graph. In 2010, the entire digital universe held just 2 zettabytes of data. 1 zettabyte is roughly a billion terabytes. So back in 2010, all of humanity, I repeat, all of humanity had created just 2 million gigabytes of data. But fast forward to today, something terrifying is happening. By 2026, humanity will be sitting on 221 zettabytes of data. That's a 100x increase in just 16 years. To put that in perspective, from 2010 to 2014, data doubled every 2 years. From 2014 to 2020, it tripled every 3 to 4 years. And by 2020, with AI and IoT, data generation has taken a hockey stick growth curve. By 2026, we will be generating more data every 48 hours than all of human civilization did in the first 10,000 years combined. Now the question is, why are we producing so much data and where is this ocean of data coming from? Now there are 4 major drivers of data center explosion. This includes artificial intelligence, cloud computing, video streaming, and even crypto mining. Now you might say, well Ganesh, we've always consumed data. What's the big deal in that? The problem is that AI is a massive energy guzzler.
Recent reports have shown how energy use by AI data centers that we've been talking about are potentially causing electricity prices to rise for some Americans.
Big tech firms like Google, Microsoft, and Amazon. Some of those types of companies want to build data center campuses that use 5 gigawatts of electricity. That's a huge amount. It's as much as entire cities like Miami or Atlanta.
In fact, every time we ask ChatGPT to write an email or generate an image, somewhere a data center has to supply power and then shed heat. In fact, producing a 100-word AI-generated response consumes about 0.14 kilowatt hour of electricity, which is equivalent to running 14 LED bulbs for an hour. And to cool that down, it again needs half a liter of water. Now multiply that by millions and billions of prompts, and you will see that at scale, these data centers can bleed an entire city dry. Like I said, in the US, an average 100 megawatt data center uses more power than 75,000 US homes combined, and it consumes 2 million liters of water every single day, which is again equal to the water usage of 6,500 US households. And most of them use drinking water for cooling. And now these data centers are coming up in Navi Mumbai, Hyderabad, Chennai, and Delhi NCR. So the question is, what will happen to Indian cities if these data centers get built? Well, look at Georgia, USA. It has become ground zero for America's data center boom. Meta, Google, Amazon, all of them are building massive facilities across the state of Georgia. And in 2025 alone, Georgia saw $40 billion in investment and millions of square feet of data centers. And when these announcements were done, the government was celebrating because they were expecting billions of dollars in investment, new jobs, and more taxes. But you know what's happening right now? Georgia's rivers are literally drying up. Its residents are facing water shortages, there is noise from cooling towers which has disrupted their sleep, and people are using contaminated water for their daily needs.
Georgia is becoming one of the nation's leading states for data centers.
People say having data centers next door is affecting their health.
This is where I fill up water for storage. Those are the things we have to fill up to flush the toilets.
So you can see the sediment from the data center.
They destroyed the environment, taking down all the trees.
Beautiful pines, beautiful forest.
Similarly, in Northern Virginia, Loudoun County alone has 200 data centers gulping down 4.14 gigawatts of power. And while 19 million liters of water went into running data centers every single day, the residents struggle to find clean water for themselves. A power company called Dominion Energy has already warned that Loudoun will need 6 more gigawatts by 2028, which is double of what they have today. So while governments celebrate tax revenues, their own citizens cannot sleep, cannot breathe, and cannot find water to drink. And it's not just the US. Countries from Australia to Brazil to Africa, all of them are facing the same problem. This is the dark side of the data center boom. So the question is, what do we do in India? And now, if you look at India, we are walking straight into the same danger zone. The US has over 5,300 data centers, the UK has 514, China has 449, Australia has 307, and India only has 270 data centers. And you know, India actually produces 20% of the world's data, which means the number of data centers here is about to explode. And the worst part is that they are being planned in Navi Mumbai, Bengaluru, Delhi NCR, Chennai, Hyderabad, and Kolkata. And like I said, every single one of these cities are already struggling for water. And when these data centers come up, this shortage of water will only get worse. In fact, data centers will consume 57 terawatt hours of power by 2030. You know how much that is? Today, Indian Railways only consumes 20 terawatt hour of power. So you can imagine, data centers will be consuming double the amount of power that Indian Railways is consuming today. And lastly, data centers also have a massive carbon problem. So long story short, if things get out of control, we could face a massive water crisis in India. While data centers keep consuming millions of liters of water and power, our citizens will not have water to drink. On top of that, it could derail India's carbon targets and it could cause large-scale environmental damage if they continue to run on fossil fuels. So now the question is, should we oppose the establishment of data centers in India? Well, had I been a woke activist, I would say yes. But as a conscious capitalist, I say no, no, no. Because the harsh reality is that people having data centers is not a choice today. It's a necessity, not just for jobs or technology, but because India must control its own data. In fact, in 2013, Edward Snowden exposed how the US intelligence agencies used tech giants like Google, Facebook, and Microsoft to conduct mass surveillance through foreign data centers. Why? Because the data was actually stored in US-based servers and the NSA could legally access it under the Patriot Act. This included communications from foreign citizens, foreign leaders, and even foreign governments. So if India's emails, defense, or payment data reside on foreign servers, they will be subject to foreign laws, and that will make us vulnerable to espionage or blackmail. In fact, do you know in 2013, the US government was actually investigating a case related to drug trafficking. And during the investigation, the government issued a warrant to Microsoft demanding that Microsoft provide emails stored on a server in Ireland. However, Microsoft, in spite of being a US company, refused to do it. Why? Because the data was subject to Irish and EU privacy laws. And the US warrant couldn't apply to data stored in another nation. So tomorrow, if our critical data is stored abroad, even Indian law enforcement cannot access it during investigation. And during a war, if India's digital backbone relies on foreign servers, our systems from Aadhaar to UPI to defense logistics could be shut down overnight by foreign forces. So the moral of the story is that a nation that doesn't own its data cannot own its destiny. That is why even the Reserve Bank of India already mandates that payment system data be stored only within India. And you know, in spite of producing 20% of the world's data, India barely stores 3% of its own. So we cannot afford to give this leverage away to anyone. So this begs the question, if we cannot avoid data centers, if we are running short on water, and if we don't want our citizens to suffer, what do we do? Firstly, the government must push all major companies to use sustainable sources of water so that we don't risk the water security of our citizens. For example, Amazon plans to use recycled water to cool more than 120 US data centers by 2030. This alone will save over 530 million gallons of fresh water annually. So the government of India needs to ensure that these companies follow sustainable methods from day one and not after the crisis hits. Secondly, India must go bullish on renewable energy, whether that is solar, hydro, or wind. We need to quickly build capacity so that as global energy demand explodes, we don't find ourselves at the crossroad of development and energy security. And lastly, the government must ensure that development always happens to improve the lives of the citizens and not to destroy them. Because the problem with unchecked capitalism is that it often compromises life for a cash flow, when the very purpose of cash flow is to create a better life. This is the story of the data boom in India, and I just hope you learned something valuable from this case study. That's all from my side for today, guys. If you learned something valuable, please make sure to hit the like button in order to make YouTube happy. And for more such insightful business and political case studies, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.